Hello everyone, welcome to Zen Zone Yoga. Today we are going to be doing a flow yoga session. So it's not a vinyasa, it's not a hatha, and it's not working towards any kind of peak pose. We're just doing an energetic flow to wake up your bodies. So if you'll come with me to the mat, we're going to start standing at the front of our mat. So when you're ready, come and join me. Plant your feet firmly on the ground through all four corners of your feet in Tadasana or mountain pose. Palms forward. Close your eyes. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. And we're going to set an intention. Our intention is to wake up the spirit inside of us, to wake up our energy flows or prana within our bodies so that we can use this energy to have an excellent day. All right, go ahead and open your eyes and breathe in Urdhva Hastasana. Reach up over your head, slight back bend. Just stretch all the way through the front of your body. And back to Tadasana. Now we're going to spread our feet wide on the mat to the edges of your mat with your heels sort of in. And we're going to do a yogi squat. So keep your feet rooted on the mat, palms together. We're going to come down, use your elbows to spread your knees apart, and squat in between your heels and just really stretch. And stand up. Put your feet hip width apart. Bend all the way down into a forward fold, Uttanasana. As far down as you can. And step your left leg back, drop your knee down, untuck your toes. We're gonna come up into a crescent lunge. So you can leave your hands on your knee, or you can reach them up to the sky for a crescent lunge. Then tuck your toes, bring your knee up off the mat for a high lunge. And put your hands down around your front foot. Step forward, forward fold. Step your right foot back. Drop your knee, untuck your toes, crescent lunge. Tuck your toes, lift up that back knee into a high lunge. Now drop your hands down around your front foot and step your left foot back into a downward facing dog. Now from here, we're going to go into a bear pose. So lean forward, drop your knees. Do not touch the mat, keep your knees hovering. Now hold here for a minute. Lean up and back into downward facing dog. Now roll forward into a high lunge and hold. Now bring your right knee to your left arm and back. Left knee to your right arm and back. Right knee to left arm and back. Left knee to right arm and back. Downward facing dog. Now we're going to hop to the front of our mat. So come onto the balls of your toes, look forward, bend your knees, hop to the front of your mat, landing in forward fold. Come back up into Urdhva Hastasana, arms up in the air. And back down into a yogi squat. Use those elbows to spread your knees apart. Now we're going to sit back, knees bent. Use your hands to brace you. We want our bodies at about a 90-degree angle. And then we're going to raise our right leg up and our left leg up so they're parallel with the mat. Left arm out, right arm out for boat pose. Now from here, try to extend your legs straight up, keeping that 90-degree angle with your body for a full boat pose. And balance here. Then drop your legs back down to parallel and raise them back up and down and up and down and up and drop them to the floor. Bring your feet together for a bound angle pose. Bring your heels in as close as you can to your pelvis. Hands around your feet and sit up straight and lean forward over your legs. Now we're going to do a reverse plank. So plant your hands behind you, feet hip width apart, and push up into, I guess it's a reverse tabletop, sorry. Reverse tabletop position. So your body will be parallel with the mat, one straight line. And drop it down. We're going to come into bridge pose. So scoot your pelvis towards your feet, knees bent, lay down, hip width apart, make sure your feet are hip width apart, tuck your shoulder blades underneath you, push up with your hips, interlace your fingers and pull. Try to get your body as far in the air as you can. Keeping those knees together. And relax. Now we're going to bring our legs straight out one at a time and raise them up into the air and lower. Don't touch your heels to the ground. And just hover here and raise them up and lower, heels hovering. One more time. Raise your legs up and lower. Now we're going to go into a plow. So go up, roll over, land with your toes tucked on the mat above your head. Interlace your fingers and pull. And release your hands. Controlled. Bring your legs up into a shoulder stand. And then roll your body down onto the mat and sit up at the same time. Now bring your legs out in front of you. We're going to do a seated forward fold. So lean forward, grab your feet or as close as you can, and relax over your legs. And come on up. Now we're going to come to our hands and knees in a tabletop position. So hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips, and we're going to do cat-cow. So breathe in, cow. Drop your belly to the mat, chin up. Breathe out, cat. Round your back, drop your chin to your chest. Breathe in, cow. Breathe out, cat. Breathe in, cow. Breathe out, cat. One more time. Breathe in, cow. Breathe out, cat. And back to tabletop. Now we're going to do a balancing table. So bring your left leg out behind you, tuck your toes. Right arm out in front of you in a straight line. Raise that left leg up off the mat, square your hips, and point your toes. We're making one straight line from your toes to your fingertips for a balancing table. And drop it back down. We're going to do the other side. So right leg out behind you, toes tucked, left arm out in front of you. Raise up that right leg, point your toes, one straight line from your toes to your fingertips for a balancing table. Drop it back down. We're going to do an extended side angle, but on your knee. So pivot that right knee so that it's like a kickstand. Keep your right hand planted. Left foot out to the side. Left arm straight up into the air and gaze at the sky. Then reach that arm up over your head and back down to a tabletop. We're going to repeat on the other side. So left leg pivots out, right leg extends, right arm up in the air, gazing at the sky. Right arm up over your head. And back into tabletop. Now push up into downward facing dog. Lean forward into plank pose. Now we're going to do side plank. So bring all your weight into your right arm. Stack your feet or scissor them if that's easier. And left arm straight up in the air for a side plank. Lift those hips up towards the sky. And back down into high plank. Now put all your weight into your left hand and stack your feet or scissor them, whichever is easier for your balance. Right arm up to the sky, lift those hips, high plank or side plank. Back down to high plank. Drop to your forearms for a forearm plank and hold. Now drop your body down, stay on your forearms, and look up for a Sphinx pose. We'll start winding down a little bit. Plant your hands where your elbows were. Push up into cobra. Come onto your knees with them wide, toes touching. Lean back into child's pose. And flip over onto your back, laying down on the mat. We're going to bring our knees to our chest and just hug them and rock back and forth, massaging your spine. And spread your knees. Weave your arms between your legs. Grab the outside of your heels and drop down into happy baby. Now release your hands, keep your knees together and drop them down to the right for a supine twist. Push your knees down with your right hand, left arm out to the side and gaze towards your left fingertips. Back to center. Drop your knees down to the left. Push down on your knees. Right arm out to the side. Gaze towards your fingertips. Back to center. Drop your legs down to the mat one at a time. Tuck your shoulder blades a little bit, palms up in the air for Shavasana, or final relaxation. So close your eyes if you haven't already. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Now keep going at that pace with the deep breaths, but try to feel it filling up all the way to the bottom of your belly when you breathe in. And when you exhale, try to exhale fully. We're going to do box breathing. So we're going to inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. So in, hold, out, hold, in, hold, out, hold. Keep going with the box breath. I just want to say that if your pace is a little bit different than mine, that's okay. Just make sure that you're holding for as long as you're inhaling and exhaling. So keep going with the box breath. And while you're doing this box breathing, really focus on the breath. Try not to let any other thoughts interfere. Okay, now you can go back to a normal breath. And we're going to just stay here in silent meditation for a few minutes. I invite you to stay in Shavasana for as long as you feel that you need to. Or when you're ready, bring awareness back into your body by wiggling your fingers and toes. Bring your arms up over your head, knees up. Roll over to one side in the fetal position. And with your eyes closed, come up to a comfortable seated position on your mat. Palms to your chest together in prayer. an Anjali Mudra, the mudra of gratitude. And bow your head to your heart, sealing in this practice and thanking yourself for being here today. Thanking yourself for bringing this energizing practice into whatever time of day it is so that you can go on with your day having just a little bit more energy and a little bit more calming of the mind. Practices like this are so good for calming the turnings of the mind because you're so focused on the movement that you forget about your to-do lists. You forget about all that stuff that clogs your mind on a daily basis that really, it'll still be there when you're done. When you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you so much for joining me on the mat today here at Zen Zone Yoga. I will see you next time. Namaste.